Deep in Central America, a seismic shift is underway, not from volcanoes, but from ambition. In the heart of this lush, volatile land, a vision is taking shape that could alter the fate of an entire continent. A Chinese-backed company has announced plans for a $50 billion canal through Nicaragua, aiming to rival the legendary Panama Canal. This is not just a business venture, it's a bold statement on the world stage, a project that could redefine the balance of power in global shipping. This isn't just another waterway, it's a direct challenge to a century-old global trade route. The Panama Canal has long been the beating heart of maritime commerce, but now, its dominance is being questioned. The Nicaragua Grand Canal would be longer, wider, and deeper than Panama's, able to handle the world's largest ships, vessels too massive even for Panama's expanded locks. Imagine supertankers and megafreighters gliding through a new passage, opening up possibilities never before seen in this region. The stakes? A fundamental shift in global commerce, with faster, cheaper routes for oil, grain, and goods between continents. Billions of dollars in trade could be rerouted, changing the fortunes of nations and the strategies of corporations worldwide. For Nicaragua, one of the hemisphere's poorest nations, the canal is a potential ticket out of poverty, tens of thousands of jobs, economic transformation, and a shot at prosperity. Entire communities could be lifted, infrastructure modernized, and a new era of opportunity born. But the price is steep, ceding land and control to a foreign company for a century, and facing questions about sovereignty and environmental cost. Ancient forests, indigenous lands, and fragile ecosystems all stand in the path of progress, sparking fierce debate and resistance. Is this a leap into the future, or a gamble with irreversible consequences? The promise of prosperity is shadowed by the threat of displacement and destruction. The world is watching as Nicaragua stands on the brink of transformation, or turmoil. Every development is scrutinized, every announcement ripples across continents. The earth movers are coming, and nothing will ever be the same. The landscape is changing before our eyes, and with it, the destiny of a nation. The project's announcement sent shockwaves from Wall Street to Beijing. Investors, politicians, and business leaders are all recalculating their next moves, sensing both risk and opportunity. The Panama Canal has long dictated the flow of global trade. Its locks and channels have shaped economies and connected continents for generations. Now, a new contender threatens to rewrite the rules. The world's shipping lanes may soon be redrawn, and the consequences will echo far beyond Central America. Behind the glossy promises, deep fears linger about who truly benefits and at what cost. Will the wealth stay in Nicaragua or flow outward? Will the environment recover or be lost forever? Is this a genuine trade revolution or a move in a larger geopolitical chess game? The canal is more than concrete and water. It's a symbol of shifting alliances and ambitions. For Nicaragua, the dream is real, but so are the risks. Every family, every farmer, every child stands at a crossroads wondering what the future will bring. As ground breaks, the world holds its breath. The next chapter in the story of global trade is about to be written, right here, in the heart of Central America. The Nicaragua Canal isn't just an engineering feat, it's a bold geopolitical statement, echoing ambitions that reach far beyond concrete and steel. This colossal project, if completed, would be one of the largest infrastructure undertakings in modern history, reshaping not only the landscape of Central America, but also the dynamics of global power. China, through a proxy company, is planting its flag in America's backyard, challenging a century of U.S. dominance in the region. This move signals a dramatic shift, as Beijing seeks to expand its influence and secure its interests in a part of the world long considered under Washington's watchful eye. The 172-mile route would cut through pristine rainforests, indigenous lands, and the vast expanse of Lake Nicaragua, igniting both hope for economic transformation and anxiety over environmental and cultural loss. For many, the canal represents a double-edged sword, promising jobs and development, but threatening ecosystems and traditional ways of life. For China, it's about more than trade. It's about influence, power, and reshaping the global order. The canal would serve as a symbol of China's growing reach, allowing it to project economic and political power across oceans and continents. The canal would serve megaships too large for Panama, offering redundancy and competition in global shipping. By providing an alternative route, it could lower shipping costs, increase efficiency, and shift the balance of maritime trade. Critics see a calculated move, part of China's string of pearls strategy, securing trade routes and projecting power far from home. Each new port, each new canal, is a link in a growing chain of influence stretching from Asia to the Americas. A Nicaraguan canal could give China a strategic foothold just miles from the US, raising concerns in Washington about security and sovereignty in its own hemisphere. The project is as much about statecraft as it is about shipping. Behind every handshake and signed agreement lies a complex web of diplomacy, negotiation, and long-term strategy. Supporters tout economic growth, new jobs, and lower costs for global trade. Skeptics warn of a new era of great power rivalry, environmental destruction, and social upheaval. The debate is fierce, with passionate voices on both sides. The canal's announcement marks not just a new waterway, but a new era in global politics. Headlines around the world reflect the magnitude of what's at stake. The world's balance of power is shifting, one colossal project at a time. As new trade routes emerge, old alliances are tested, and the future of global commerce hangs in the balance. The stakes have never been higher. The outcome of the Nicaragua Canal will echo for generations, shaping not just trade, or just our story, the very order of the world. For over a century, the Panama Canal has been the beating heart of global trade, a symbol of ingenuity and national pride. 5% of world trade flows through its locks, fueling Panama's economy and identity. The canal's expansion in 2016 was meant to secure its dominance for decades, but the Nicaragua proposal threatens to upend that security. Designed for the world's largest ships, the new canal could siphon off the most lucrative traffic, challenging Panama's monopoly. Panama now faces tough questions: invest more, cut tolls, or diversify beyond the canal. The mere possibility of a rival has sparked debate and uncertainty. The old king is no longer unchallenged. If Nicaragua succeeds, Panama's era of unrivaled control may be over. The rivalry could reshape shipping routes, economies, and regional power. Panama must adapt or risk being left behind. The legend of the Panama Canal faces its greatest test yet. The future of global trade hangs in the balance. The dream of a Nicaraguan canal is centuries old, stretching back to the earliest days of European exploration in the Americas. For generations, the idea of carving a waterway through Nicaragua has captured the imagination of visionaries, leaders, and ordinary citizens alike. Spanish explorers, U.S. presidents, and even Napoleon III once eyed the San Juan River and Lake Nicaragua as a natural path between oceans. The region's geography seemed to offer a shortcut that could change the world's trade routes forever. For a time, the U.S. nearly chose Nicaragua over Panama, but volcanic fears and clever lobbying shifted the focus south. The shadow of nearby volcanoes and the persuasive power of Panama's supporters ultimately sealed Nicaragua's fate. The idea never died. It lingered as a symbol of lost opportunity and national potential. Each generation revisited the dream, hoping to transform Nicaragua into a global crossroads. Political turmoil and lack of capital kept the dream out of reach for generations. Wars, revolutions, and economic crises made the canal seem like a distant fantasy, always just out of grasp. Now, with China's backing, Nicaragua sees a chance to finally realize its destiny. International investment and modern technology have reignited hopes that the canal could become a reality at last. The partnership brings unprecedented resources and ambition. Massive machinery, global expertise, and bold new plans have transformed the landscape and the national conversation. For the government, it's a shot at redemption and prosperity. Leaders promise jobs, growth, and a brighter future for all Nicaraguans, hoping to unite the country behind this colossal effort. But the weight of history looms large. Past failures and high stakes haunt every decision. Skeptics warn of environmental risks, displacement, and the ghosts of abandoned projects. The canal's revival is both a promise and a warning. It offers hope for transformation, but also serves as a reminder of the challenges that have derailed so many dreams before. Can Nicaragua succeed where so many have failed? The answer will depend on vision, perseverance, and the ability to learn from history's lessons. The world watches as a centuries-old fantasy edges closer to reality. Every step forward is scrutinized by global media, investors, and ordinary people hoping for a breakthrough. The stakes, national pride, economic salvation, and the risk of repeating history's mistakes could not be higher. Success would mean a new era for Nicaragua. Failure could deepen old wounds. This is more than a project, it's a test of a nation's resolve, a measure of its ability to overcome adversity and seize its place on the world stage. The outcome will echo for generations, shaping the destiny of Nicaragua and inspiring future dreamers across the globe. The China-Nicaragua partnership is a marriage of ambition and necessity. For President Ortega, the canal is a legacy project, a chance to transform his nation's fortunes. For China, it's about securing trade routes, reducing reliance on the US-influenced Panama Canal, and projecting power in the Americas. The canal offers China leverage over global commerce and a strategic foothold in America's backyard. The deal, struck quickly and quietly, gives the Chinese company sweeping powers, including land expropriation and a century-long concession. Critics warn Nicaragua may be trading one dependency for another, risking sovereignty for a shot at prosperity. For China, it's a bold move in its global strategy. For Nicaragua, it's a high-stakes gamble with its future. The dragon and the volcano have joined forces, each with much to gain, and even more to lose. The Nicaragua Canal is engineering on a staggering scale, 172 miles long, 3 times Panama's length. 5 billion cubic meters of earth would be moved, enough to bury Manhattan. The project includes ports, a free trade zone, an airport, and tourism developments. A full economic corridor, not just a canal. The canal's width and depth would dwarf Panama's, allowing the world's largest ships to pass. 65 miles would cut through Lake Nicaragua, requiring massive dredging and raising fears of water contamination. Earthquakes and seismic risks add to the challenge. Compared to Panama's expansion, this is a leap into the unknown, 10 times the cost, vastly more complex. Experts question whether the Chinese-led team can deliver. The project pushes the limits of modern engineering and of Nicaragua's capacity to manage such ambition. Success would be historic, failure, catastrophic. The world is watching to see if ambition can overcome reality. The canal promises economic transformation, tens of thousands of jobs, a doubling of GDP, and a leap toward prosperity. Free trade zones and deep-water ports could make Nicaragua a global logistics hub. The government envisions a steady stream of revenue for decades. But the risks are enormous. A $50 billion price tag, uncertain demand, and volatile shipping trends. If the canal fails to attract enough traffic, it could become a white elephant, leaving debt, displacement, and disappointment. The financing is murky, and the Chinese company wields extraordinary power over land and resources. For Nicaragua, the gamble is existential. The dream of riches could easily turn to ruin. The nation stands at a crossroads, prosperity or peril. The canal's path would devastate rainforests, wetlands, and the Indio Maíz Biological Reserve, home to jaguars, tapirs, and rare macaws. Lake Nicaragua, the country's main freshwater source, faces massive dredging, risking contamination and ecological collapse. Up to 120,000 people, many indigenous, could be displaced, losing land and livelihoods. The project splits vital wildlife corridors and threatens irreversible damage to ecosystems. Oil spills or accidents could poison water for generations. Protests and outrage have erupted as communities fear for their future. The environmental and human costs are staggering. Can any economic benefit justify the destruction? The Nicaragua Canal is a new front in the US-China rivalry. For the US, a Chinese-controlled canal in Central America is a direct challenge to its influence and security. China gains a strategic asset, economic leverage, and a loyal partner in Nicaragua. The project signals China's rise as a global power, using investment, not armies, to reshape the world. The US faces a dilemma: support development or resist China's advance. The canal could set a precedent for future Chinese involvement in Latin America. The diplomatic dance is delicate, the stakes immense. The outcome may redefine the region's alliances and the global balance of power. The world is watching as two giants compete, not with weapons, but with ambition and concrete. The fate of the canal could shape the 21st century.